Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Getting straight into it again. I'm just going over her face with some Garnier micellar water just to ensure her face is nice and clean. Then I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Pro Brow palette, and I'm taking the shade Soft Brown and just lightly filling in her brows. Then I'm just taking a light concealer and just using that to define above and below the brows, just with a concealer brush. Then taking Benefit Cosmetics GimMe Brow, I'm just running that through her brows just to give it a little bit more fullness and just to set the brows in place. Then I'm just priming the eyelids with a light concealer as well, and then setting them in place with some translucent powder. So this look was actually inspired by Tamina Makeup on Instagram. I love her work. She always does heaps of bright, colourful, bold looks. So I decided to do that today. So I'm just grabbing these two pinky shades. I'll leave everything that I use down below. And I'm just using that in her crease as the transition colour. Then I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm taking these two pinky shades and just mainly focusing that on the outer corners of the eyes and then bringing it into the crease as well. Then taking Cypress Umber eyeshadow, which is just a matte brown, and also focusing that on the outer corners of the eyes as well. Then I'm just taking a matte black eyeshadow and also placing that in the outer corners just to make it really, really smoky and intense. Then I'm taking the Stilla Magnificent Metal Cream sort of eyeshadow in the shade Smoldering Satin and just placing that in the inner corners of her eyes. Then I'm just taking a cotton tip with some makeup remover and just sharpening up the edges of the eyeshadow. Then just popping on some mascara in preparation for false lashes. I'm just using a disposable mascara wand. I got these ones from eBay. They're the silicone ones. I just find that they work so much better than just the normal ones. And then I'm taking the Model Rock 212 lashes, my favorites, and just popping them on. Then taking the Too Faced Hangover Primer and just popping that all over her face, of course, to prime her skin before foundation. Then I decided to pop on some of the iconic Illuminating drops just because I wanted her face to look as dewy as possible, like in the photo that I showed you earlier. So I put that on the highest points of her cheekbones, Cupid's bow, and the tip of her nose, just where you would normally like powder highlight. Then just spraying her face with some Fix Plus before foundation, and the foundation I used was MAC Studio Fix in NC15. I only used one pump all over because I wanted her face to look as sort of, I don't know, natural as possible and dewy. So yeah, I just put one pump on and spread that all over with a damp beauty blender. Then I used some of the Becca liquid Opal highlighter and placed that on her cheekbones, cupid's bow, chin, and down the bridge of her nose, just where you would typically highlight as well, just to create that extra dewy look. Then going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in Light and just placing the smallest amount just underneath her eyes to color correct and blending that all out. Then I'm just taking some of the Laura Mercier translucent powder and just using that to set underneath her eyes. Then taking the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Pearl. This highlighter is amazing for pale girls, and of course just placing that in the same spots as we placed the highlighter earlier, so on the cheekbones, cupid's bow, tip of the nose, and then down the bridge as well. Then going in with the Artist Palette by Anastasia and taking this light blue shade and just using that to smoke out her lower lash line. Then I'm going in with a black just on the outer corners of the lower lash line just to make it a little bit more dramatic. Then going in with Hoola Light Bronzer and just using that to contour her cheekbone. So just placing that with the brush that it came with just in the hollows of her cheekbones. And I just wanted to intensify that contour a little bit more, so I just went in with a normal Hoola and just placed it in the same areas as well. Then going in with the Galifornia blush by Benefit also and just placing that on the apples of her cheeks. And then for lips, I went in with the Marc Jacobs lip gloss in the shade Sugar Sugar and just placing that on her lips. And then just finishing off with some Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and that is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you would like any other video requests, then please leave them in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.